Hello, good evening and welcome to the conversation here on ETV Ghana. It's that Thursday again where I get to talk to some of your favorite sports personalities. I get to talk to them about life in general and also what they've done with their life, something that they've shared with us in the open, but a lot of the things that we do not know about them. Behind the scenes controversy, behind the scenes fun and excitement about their life. I get to see it or hear here on ETV Ghana. My name is Ohene Bampo Brenya. My guest is a very interesting one indeed. When we say Ashama to the world, this defines it properly because someone who grew up on the street of Ashaiman decided to play football and played at the very highest level, believe me, played for one of the best clubs in Ghana, in Africa, and also decided that he will venture into something that is completely off football. Join the U.S. Army. Who am I talking to tonight on the conversation? I'll go for a quick break. When I do come back, I'll introduce my... You're welcome back from the break, and I'm in conversation with Adu Amofah. Yes, you heard me right. Started his football career with Liberty Professionals. He went on loan at Tamarel Sportive. Finally joined Asante Kotoko before leaving the shores of Ghana to play for Bloemfontein Celtic in South Africa. After all is said and done in football, he decided to drop his boots and pick up the gun. Yes, not in a very illegal way, but a legal way. Joined the U.S. Army and has been there since. Now back in Ghana doing something amazing for Ghana and the next generation of football talent. We get to talk about that charity work, as well. But let's go straight to the conversation. Mark, welcome to Ghana and welcome to ETV Ghana.
Thank you.
How has life treated you?
Wow, fairly.
Fairly. I'm sure you're living a dream now. Many of your playmates wish they were in your shoes.
Well, they have the right to say so, but
they don't know what's in there, right?
Yeah, a lot of stuff are involved.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting journey, and we'll get into the journey briefly, how he got into the U.S. Army and all that. Did he plan this, for instance? And after football, I was going to get into the Army. So stay with me in the next 60 minutes. We are doing a lot more, of Mark Adu Amofah in his story. Mark, how did you get into football? Growing up in Ashaiman. I know there were a lot of coast, teams in Ashaiman. Brazil, I see the ones, team, for instance, were very famous, in Ashaiman, and a lot more teams in Tema at the time, preschool babies, ambassadors, young Kotoko, young hearts, and all that. How was it for you growing up? Because I remember clearly, growing up there, you have to play coast football. Was it the same for you?
Yes, but actually I was a goalkeeper.
When you started?
90s, late 90s. Actually,
wow.
Okay, in school I was a goalkeeper, but at home playing on the street and stuff, I was a player, So I started playing, moving from a goalkeeper position to as a player. I started when an elder brother of mine was going to assist the men's team. Young Brazilians. Yeah. So normally when he goes with me, okay, and I hold the boot.
Okay. So
at one point, I wasn't a player back then, so I just go sit back and watch them play. Yeah. So at one point when they were, giving the position out, the number 2 I think didn't come that day. The right full back position didn't show up. So
and you happened to be available.
And I was just sitting somewhere, and then because hey, come and play. When he comes, you sit down. I said okay. So without shoes on, barefooted, so I played, and right after the game, the coach said, every day I want you here to come. So I started as a right full back, and then I have one weapon. I do still have it. It's speed.
Speed, yeah.
Yeah, so when he watched my play for some time, he decided to move me
up front.
Yeah, up front. Okay. And I was playing number 7, and I was scoring more goals than the striker. So he said no. Now
you have to be the center
forward. So that's where it all started.
So you started your coast football from young Brazilians.
Yes.
How was it? I see the man. He's a legend when it comes to coast football in Ashanti.
Yeah.
How would you say? How would you describe him, the man? Because he became very famous, especially after the Ama Senegal episode. Very, very famous. If people heard his name and didn't know him, who was he?
He was just a simple. He's now the late, though.
Yeah.
He was just a simple man, a man who's passionate for football is unmatchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he loves it. And at that time, he wasn't doing it for anything, like for money or
games,
anything.
Yeah.
It was just, he loves it. He loves soccer. And then, so that's how he was. You know, he was just, the love for the game was above everything.
Yeah.
And fortunately, his first player was his first player to break into the national team was Kofi Nimo. Yeah, and then that's when a lot of people started noticing what he was doing. But unfortunately, things happened. So I would say he was a loving man. Everybody knew him, a famous man back then, and who loves football and decided to spend the rest of his life doing football.
Yeah, Roman packed down. I mean, if you knew Ashaman very well, you know, Asiliman became very famous.
Yeah.
Kofi Nimo, after Senegal '92, you know, became the very big, you know, topic in town. But right from coast football, playing for, you know, I see the man in young Brazilians. How did you get into Liberty?
I didn't just when I left young Brazilians. Actually, I don't remember the day, but it was Ben Kaide.
Oh, okay.
Who saw me? I don't know how he did, but he saw me and recommended me to Coach Adi.
Samadi.
Yes, the multi-system man.
Yeah, the late.
So the late, yeah, the late. So I got a message that they want to see me play, like a trial match. So they arranged a game between Final Zagadu back then against Teshi 11.
Okay.
So they called me in, and then I scored 2 goals on that day. So right from there, he spoke with the late Asideman, and then my card issue was sorted out. So that was when I moved to Final. Right after Final, I moved to Fauzan in Kaswa. Yeah, so when I went to Final, I didn't move to Fete. They moved every player to Kaswa.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because the Zagado team was in Kaswa back then, before they bought it. So I played Fauzan. So it was after Fauzan that I moved to Liberty.
And that Fauzan was part of the Feyenoord system?
No.
It wasn't part of the Feyenoord system?
No.
But they moved some of the players from Feyenoord to play for the club?
No, actually, I had a contract. You know, I got an invitation from Germany, Werder Bremen, and Feyenoord was dragging their feet.
They didn't want to let you go, or the money was small?
You know, they don't want their player. It wasn't the deal wasn't from them.
Oh.
So it was like.
It was from another agency?
Yes, and I also wanted to leave, and they said, okay, if you want to leave, then go out. That was the entire reason, the main reason why I moved to Fauzan. Yeah.
But you still were not able to move to Germany?
No,
so
my visa was refused. My visa was refused, so I couldn't. So that made me, I stayed, I think, a season. I helped Fauzan. They were in 2nd division. I helped them to get promotion to 1st division. And then right after that competition, I left to Liberty.
Liberty was hot kick at the time. They were noted for picking the best young talent in Ghana and shaping them into international, you know, players or international superstars. And the list is endless. Was that the reason you joined them, knowing that the possibility of you playing outside Ghana was very bright?
Yes, and back then Liberty was Liberty, you know.
Yeah.
Before I joined, they had already produced Michael Essien, Muntari, and Asamoah was the next to leave.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody wanted to play for Liberty back then. And so when I had the opportunity, I was called to go on trials with them. We were 3 from Fauzan, 2 were picked, and I managed to be one of the 2. So yeah, that motivated me and to join Liberty.
And Sly had an eye for talent, right?
Right, yeah.
And he traveled distances to watch young players play football.
Correct.
What was he doing right then? What was the difference between the Sly's Liberty and the Liberty that has been sold to Hohoe United FC?
I don't know how he did it, but he wasn't alone. He and Dada Anson.
Dada Anson, yeah.
Yes, so yeah, I don't know how they managed the team that time, but I believe they did so well. I believe they did so well. You know, everywhere you mention Liberty's name, everybody want to come and watch. Yeah, I don't know what's going on now.
That's a entirely different conversation altogether. But so Liberty, but things didn't kick off for you. You were sent on loan to Sportive, a team close to where you grew up.
Yes, but a lot happened when I was there.
Tell me about it.
You know, I'll be writing a book, so I have so many untold stories.
Give us a gist of it.
Yeah, so, well, I would say everything was fine. I wasn't getting the first place. Like, I'm always in the bench, but whenever I come in, I do score. Yeah. You know, but still be on the bench. Then a new coach, you know, comes in and say, we don't need you anymore. Wow. When in fact, at that moment, I've lost my mom, and he came to add another pain, you know, to me. So right after my mom's burial, I met the late Sly, and I pleaded with him to please take me to any team, even if they are not going to pay me, I will accept. And so the team that came I believe the team that came to his mind back then was Real Sportive.
From
Tema. And they said, hey, he told me, if you want to go to Tema, you come from Ashama, so if you want to go to Tema, but remember, there is no salary, it's not like Liberty. And I said, yeah, I just want to play football. Even if they are not going to pay me, yeah, I'll go. So he spoke with Alhaji Y. Ibrahim, and thank God he agreed. And then that's how I moved from Liberty to... Actually, when I was leaving, I remember when that coach came, he said, I don't need you in this team. You are... And guess what? When I lost my mom, I presented a bottle of schnapps, you know, per tradition, you know.
Inform them of the sudden pass of your mom.
So they were aware, but later I heard that they said I'm not a Liberty player, and so they are not going to come. Wow. Like I said, I have so many untold stories. Truly, nobody showed up, with the exception of Kwame Obindakun.
Was a player then, your mate?
Then, and Eric Bequin. They came that night. You know, I don't know, I think they sneaked out. So they showed up. They were the only 2 players who came. The rest were afraid. And I later found out that, if you could remember, that same year, it came out that Obindakun is out. They don't need him in Liberty.
I remember.
Bequin to the same. So they moved me to Sportive, and everything started going on well. Yeah. Right after, I think somewhere at the end of the league, I heard from the news that they said I'm Liberty player. All of a sudden, I'm Liberty player. And after the league, I have to go back to Liberty under the same coach, you know. So, well, if you ask me how I moved from Liberty to Sportive,
it's a very interesting one, because we didn't get to hear your side of the story and what really went down during that period. But did you did you feel betrayed for them not to show up at your mom's funeral?
Yeah,
and then asking you to join.
Yeah.
What pushed you out of the club, basically?
I cried all night, almost all week. No, I was down.
Yeah.
It's really, it broke everything in me. I remember I played Confederation Cup with them.
Yeah.
I played the league with them. And so for them to say, you are not our player, we don't even know you. That, and it's not only that. Like I said, I will write a book, I will state everything. They use a couple of words. I have friends in Liberty, and they say it openly, not like, behind the scene. They say it openly, and I heard everything. I was down, but.
So when you had a good season with Sportive, and Sportive at the time were next to, they were very.
They were down. When I joined them, they were third to the
bottom of the league.
Yes.
But a very stubborn team when you play against them. After that good season, and Liberty asked you to come back, did you come back?
Yes, I received a call. I won't say the name. He said, "Hey, it's time to come back." And I said, "Okay, yeah." Remember, I signed 3 years contract with them, so per
the
legal terms, I still have contract with them. So I'm their. I've been their player from day one, but I don't know why they use that word. So yeah, I went back to Liberty, and when I got back, we were preparing to go for a tournament in Benin. And the same coach asked me, "Mark, if you want to go with us, I'll go with you. But if you don't want to go, I will accept." And I said, "No, coach, I'll go with you." So we went to Benin, and I scored goals, and then it was fine. I didn't have any problem because God worked in a mysterious ways. So yeah, that was it.
I'm sure the coach would had if he had time to revise his, or the chance to revise, his actions here. I'm not sure he would do. Yeah. Maybe that's also opened the gate for you to join in.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Like I said, it's the work of God.
Yeah.
It's the work of God.
Yeah. Then Asante Kotoko came into the picture. How did that happen?
Yeah, at the tail end of the season, I joined Sportive in the middle of the season. So at the tail end of the season, one day I was going home from training. I was living at SCC, and I go to training at Temapisco Park. So I always come back. And I remember very well, when I got to Kaneshi traffic lights, close to the school.
Accra Academy.
I got a call. I was in my trotro. No, man. I got a call. And I answered. Mark, it is saying, "Pacho, Simini." I'm saying, "Pacho, why? I say, offer nie."
Me offer bay.
For buying. Me offer bay. I say, "Offer ya more upon konye." I say, "Offer." But then everybody knows his name. Yeah. See, offer. That was when I know something is coming on. So, me do beba Kotoko. Let me say offer Pacho Mati. So we kept,
talking and
negotiating. And so that was the first time I knew I'll be going to Kotoko after. And all my household, we are all Kotoko supporters. So it was very easy.
But going through that half season with Liberty, did you
Sportive,
did you imagine that a big club in Ghana with that house of Kotoko would come for you?
Per what I was doing, yes. And remember, it wasn't only Kotoko. I was in constant communication with
Niayi
Bonte. Very close.
Who was the CEO of Accra?
Yes, then. And at the same time, Honorable Kojofiano.
Asgold.
Yes. But
so 3 of the top clubs in Ghana were all chasing you.
Because I was scoring each week.
Yeah,
every
consistently.
Week. Every Monday sports highlight you see me in there. So, but at the end of the season, I almost agreed to Goldfield's terms. Yeah. So.
What were they proposing? Because it was probably a very properly run club. had a lot of resources from the mining company. What did they propose to you?
That will come in. I'll save that for another time. But yeah,
okay.
They sent me to Obuasi. I met with the executive, including Kojo Fianu, Honorable. I call him Honorable Fianu, and we talked. It was okay, but my life has been. I had a father, but I chose Alhaji Sly as my dad. So when I came back, we sat down, and I said, "This is what
they've offered me."
By then, he had an idea about what Kotoko is willing to offer. And comparing the two,
wasn't the same.
Yeah, Goldfields was better. But like I said, the heart, and also with Hearts too, but the heart was and still with Kotoko. So, and back then, I wasn't even thinking about money. Okay. We play for love, the passion for wearing the jersey alone is enough. So we spoke, we talked, he made some few calls, and I told him, you know what, even though Goldfield is giving me a lot, I want to go to Kumasi, I want to play for my team. So that was when, back then, Kesbin, the lawyer, now he's lawyer, so I'll add that. He was also talking with me, helping me a lot. So I called him and said, I'm ready. He asked me to go to the airport and fly to Kumasi. And that's where the journey began. Wow.
Yeah. So from that phone call, in that trotro, your life changed forever.
Exactly.
And you were also fulfilling a childhood dream, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because you've always wanted to play for Kotoko.
Kotoko. My dad was a die-hard Kotoko supporter. Same mom, my siblings, everyone. Wow. The whole household.
So when you told them that you were signing for Kotoko, what was their reaction?
They couldn't believe it. But I felt sad at the same time because my mom wasn't around. Ooh. Because I remember when it was tough. Actually, I was at liberty, but he was giving me money also. Wow. Because we were just giving some
allowances and nothing
And I remember I kept telling her I will play for Kotoko. Sometimes she would say, Jawa, that kind of thing. But in the case,
it's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
And she wasn't around to see. And so it was sad. Yeah, it was sad at the same time. Yeah. But I took a consolidation for the fact that my dad was around.
Alive and seeing it. On that note, we'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll do Asante Kotoko. Do you know that the last time Kotoko played in the group stages of the Champions League was the era of Adu Amofah? What has gone wrong? We will deal with that, and also his transfer to Bloemfontein Celtic. We'll be back with more here on the show. You're welcome back from the break, and I'm in conversation with Adu Amofah, who played in Ghana for Real Sportive Liberty. And Asante Kotoko traveled, to play outside this republic. Also played for the Olympic team and the local blasters as well. So we have a lot to talk about. Even after football, he's doing something amazing on the charity side and also on the personal, bit of it. Mark, so your dream finally came through. And at the time going to Kotoko, if I'm a player going to Kotoko, I would think twice because you look at the strikers, there's quality index. India, the quality there was, and these were household names celebrated in Kumasi. But for you as a young boy going to Kumasi, didn't that scare you?
No. Remember, I come from a shaman.
Yeah.
Yes, Roshi.
I know what it means.
Yeah, so, and also, it was, it's still my team though. Yeah. So, and those players motivated me. It was an opportunity. I heard of Chipsa. I saw Chipsa on TV. Yeah. Charles Taylor, India, Almighty, Aziz and Sam. But so their names didn't scare me. I was just happy to be among them. And then I was on fire back then. I was top. So I was ready to go and compete and get my place. And I did. Their names didn't scare me a bit.
So I want to, for you to paint the picture for us to see, your first day at training, it was Rich Park at the time?
No.
So,
I think I don't remember. I flew there, I got there late, I went to the secretariat, signed my contract. They were camping in Obuasi. They were camping at Obuasi.
Okay.
So, I think around 8, 9 p.m. they have to drive me all the way to Obuasi to join them. We were preparing for the first leg, the Champions League qualifiers.
First round was Champions League qualifiers.
Yeah, first game in Cameroon. And then I don't remember the day, because then when I got there that night, the following day we played a friendly game, a try game, and I scored. We won 1-0. I scored the goal, that one.
So you went the night before the game.
Yes.
You played the game the following morning and still scored.
Wow. You know, I have to announce my presence. I have to announce my presence.
And I'm sure the players were asking, why who is this boy? Who is this boy?
And so that was, I think, either Wednesday or Thursday. So on Saturday, we flew to Yaoundé.
And you were part of the team that went to Yaoundé?
Yeah. And I think against Eagle, the champ, I don't remember the name. It's 1-1. It ended 1-1. I got the first goal.
So you scored on a debut for Asante Kotoko in the Champions League game?
In Cameroon, yes.
Wow.
I scored the first. I'll show you the picture. The picture that
yeah, I've seen that picture.
And behind me, you could see Chastela and India.
Chastela and India.
Yeah, that was the goal. Yeah.
This defender, midfielder. I mean, his name was
late Michael Asante.
Michael Asante in that shot.
The late
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the game.
Wow.
And so I love doing that, scoring goals. So actually, as they said, it was my business on the field.
Was scoring goals.
So,
but that was a very good team, though.
Yeah,
the team.
I was lucky. I was fortunate
that
to
was
meet
a very good team.
such. Yeah,
Bonfire and all those boys.
Yes,
were in the team.
I think
Doji
and
all those guys.
Godfrey Diabo, the late.
TV3.
Yes.
Osapia,
Kwame. CID. Chipsa. Obindaku, Ameture.
So Obindaku played with you, at Liberty.
Yes.
But the two of you joined Asante Kotoko.
Let me tell you a story. I'll keep it.
My viewers will
about Obindaku.
Yeah.
Yeah, they chased him out of Liberty.
Wow.
The same time, the same way they, yeah. So he was at home chilling, but God, like I said, God worked in a mysterious ways. A week to the game against Kotoko, for some reason, they lost all their strikers.
So they had to go call him?
I don't know, they got injured or something happened, and he was at home chilling. He didn't train the whole week to the game.
That's Liberty Kotoko?
Yes. In Kumasi. He was home. I think he joined them on Saturday or so.
This should be 2005 or 2006 thereabouts?
Yeah, 2006, I think. No, we went into 2005. So he joined them, drove to Kumasi, and he scored 3 goals.
That was the day he scored a hat-trick?
Yes. No training. And then right after the game, hey, we're a player. You're a player.
But that also got him the attention he needed at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody in Kotoko wanted him to play for Kotoko.
Bequin was on top form. Was in top form. So do Kwame and me too. So none of us understood why they could come.
Didn't want to
I asked the late line and said, well, coach needs on to me. So I said, okay.
So was the reason Bequin left for Heart of Lions?
Heart of Lions, yes.
Yes. And later, after you had left to join Asante Kotoko, the year you left.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting. This is very interesting. So the 3 guys all played at Liberty and also made their names for Asante Kotoko.
Exactly.
So you went to Kotoko and now Obindaku is there. Did he become automatically your friend and your roommate?
Yeah, Kwame has become my friend since the days with Liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it continued. We stayed in the same house. You see my room. Here is his room. Even when he left for Syria. Yeah, he took me there. He took me with him. When I was playing in, I think, Israel, when I come back, I sleep in the same room with him.
Wow.
And to date.
So you guys are best of friends?
To date. He's in Florida, I'm in North Carolina. We talk almost every day.
Oh, it's also in the States?
Yeah.
How good was that team Kotoko paraded in Africa that year? You guys played in the group stages of the Champions League?
Yeah, we went to the Champions League itself.
Yeah.
And I think we finished the second place.
Yeah.
In our group, I think we were Kotoko, Elali, Fasien, and JSK Kabir. And we finished second.
Yeah.
Elali took that cup that year. Elali was in our group. Yeah, they were in the first position.
Was the same year when Kotoko went to Egypt, considered 4 goals in the first 18 minutes of the game? 3 goals, I guess.
Yes, to date, I don't know what happened.
What happened that game? Was it the weather?
No.
Was it the fact that the pitch was watered? What happened? Because we still do not understand what happened.
Well, it's a mystery. I don't know to date. Sometimes when I look at those photos and videos, I used to have them. No one can understand what happened. Within first 18 minutes, 4 goals, you know. But I did my best. I tried so much to at least get a goal, but
it didn't happen.
The best I could go was to hit the crossbar. Yeah, you know, so.
But it was a very good team. I mean, that year as well. But that year, you remember your game against Liberty, you remember your game against Accra Hasselhoff for Kotoko. How different is it playing against Hasselhoff and other teams in the league? Wow.
If you are playing against the normal teams like Liberty, it's normal. No, nothing happens. But against Almighty Hasselhoff, a lot goes into it. You know, for some reason, the camping, what happened in camp, and a lot goes in. You know, but you know, it's 2 traditional clubs, so probably nobody wants to lose in such games. There's a saying that you can lose all game, but you just have to win. Yeah.
But so that particular year, you beat Hasselhoff 3-1 in Kumasi.
Yes.
And you had not beaten Hasselhoff with that margin for a long time, or in a long while. When it happened, and I remember the atmosphere in the studio at the time. But for you as players, experiencing that and after the game, in Kumasi, for instance, how was it for you, even as players?
How was the question again?
The experience, the euphoria,
it was a good feeling.
The excitement for you and how supporters treated you after the game.
It was a very good feeling, you know, because a lot goes into it before, and so now everything is out, and we've won. It was a good feeling, you know, from Accra. I mean, from the park to the hotel, everybody. You see people lying on the street, and you know, it was great. And the stadium,
spark.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
We'll come back to that conversation. What happened? Why our local game is not attracting the same numbers we used to do in 2006, 2007, 2008. I mean, as far back, you know, 5 years ago. Now we are playing in virtually empty, you know, grounds. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to the conversation on ETV Ghana. I'm talking to Mark Adu Amofah, former sporty, former Liberty professionals, former Asante Kotoko, and also clearly serving in the U.S. Army as well. Mark, so Kotoko, amazing season for you. I mean, you scoring goals, making a name for yourself. How did you end up in South Africa?
So
Celtic.
Celtic. Yeah. Before I left for Asante Kotoko, I was also in the Black Satellite.
Yeah.
So I think we had a tournament in South Africa, and that one too is another
another episode.
Yeah, another story that will come in my book. So when we came back home, I had a call that a team want to see me, and I played, I think, about 5 minutes of the whole tournament. Yeah, And so I went back. The coach saw me and I came back to Ghana. So when I moved to Kotoko, the same coach had moved from the team he was to another team. And he invited me again. And when I got there, they wanted to finish the deal and stuff, but Kotoko said no because of the Champions League. Yeah, so after the Champions League, I told them the time has come for me to go. I didn't want to wait any longer. And they also didn't want to keep me.
Okay. They want the money as well?
Yeah, the money as well. And I believed I did the best that I could for the team. And it was
time for you to
time for me to live in that peaceful way. I didn't want to wait till something happened. For maybe I'll mess up everything that I've done before I leave. No. So
you want to live on a high?
Yes. Yes.
So Celtic?
Yeah, so when
in the South African environment, how is it?
Normal. To me, with the exception of the weather at that time. You know, I've gone a couple of times back then, but to that South African weather, no.
Pretty cool.
Cool, you know, nice people. Celtic was their fans were fantastic.
Amazing, I'm told.
And it didn't scare me because of
what
the one
Kotoko.
So I just fit in. I fit in perfectly.
And they received you well?
Nice, beautiful. And guess what? Till date, the agent that took me there, I still have good relationship with him. I think the last time I came here, I went to South Africa to say thank you to him, because if it wasn't for him, I don't know. Maybe probably we'll still be here.
Very few of our, Ghanaian players go to South Africa and do well. I can say, but for you and a few others, what is it about South African football that makes it difficult for our players? Some have argued that the speed of their game is very quick. Some have argued that the demand there is very huge. What is it for you? What's based on your own experience?
Well, they have the right to say so, but playing outside also have its challenges.
Sure.
A team will come in, spend that amount of money to take you. When you go there, they expect a lot. Remember, they also have
talent
local players, so you have to be exceptionally good. I didn't know that until I got to South Africa. That was when I said, so I asked myself, how did ACN go into the first team of Chelsea? Because a lot
goes into it.
Yes. You have to be super high to be in the first level. Otherwise, you are out. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they are not prepared
enough to be able to face that competition.
Yeah, because, like I said, you have to be ongoing. You have to be high speed. You remember, you don't have any parent, family over there. They bought you there, so as if they own you. You have to give them result. So 1-2 games, if nothing happens, now they'll start rethinking. They will be thinking what to do next. Third game, nothing happened, they'll bring somebody
to come and play.
They don't give you the time to adapt.
Settle and adapt.
It's a transition, right? But when you go to any foreign club, they don't give you a time, with the exception of, I think, Denmark. When the president came to me and said, hey, don't worry, we used to have this Gambian player. He used 7 months to get used to this, to how we play, because in Denmark, snowing, raining, and you'll be playing in it.
Wow.
So maybe those may be the reason why some of them couldn't make it in South Africa. It doesn't snow in South Africa, but their weather sometimes,
very cold,
and it rains too.
So you've played in South Africa, Bahrain, Denmark, Syria. Which one would you say? Is it?
I didn't play in Syria. I played in South Africa, Denmark, Israel, Thailand, and Bahrain.
Bahrain, Thailand. Which one would you say was your most fun, most enjoyable?
South Africa.
South Africa.
South Africa.
Wow. Wow.
And the most difficult was in Denmark.
Denmark.
Yeah.
Because of the weather and the... Was it the weather or just the football?
Yeah, and their football too.
It's difficult.
They go down
Hard.
and crash and those, and to be raining, they are good in playing those weathers, and I wasn't.
In the weather?
Yeah, the weather.
Wow.
And maybe I should have listened and take my time. I wanted to do what I was doing in South Africa, like play, score, and it wasn't like that back then. You know, I was young and then wasn't thinking well about it. And I didn't have anyone
Any
to
career
also
guidance, someone who had been
so
there before to tell you, take your time,
exactly.
to
calm me down and say, hey, to be all right, just take your time, you get used to it. So I said, hey, let me go.
So you didn't waste time there, just pack your bags and...
Not really. No, I didn't just pack my... I was moved to the second team, and that was the,
everything for you.
You know, so because they wanted me to play with them, get used to before, and I didn't have that
patience.
Look at me, I played in the Champions League in Africa. I've moved to South Africa. I was doing well, and now here am I going to the second team. You know, that's why, like my project, I want to, you know, we need to let the kids know,
understand all these dynamics before they travel out. So, fine career came to an end. The next thing I saw was Mark in US. US? Yeah, it's in the US Army. How did that come about? Well, were you planning all that whilst you were playing football? How did the Army thing came into being?
They have a word I've forgotten, but you know, the situation determines
your line of action.
Yes. Here in a world that I want, my father wanted me to go to school. I wanted to play football, and I decided to play football. My mom also supported me. My dad said, okay, maybe something will happen. And so I couldn't further my education. So when I got to US, I did a few research, and I realized that they pay for tuition, the Army. So
if you want to go back to school,
school,
they will take off everything for you.
When I decided not to play football again, I said, okay, now I have to go to school. I remember telling my parent that when train seminya kwabrochire kobobola meko school. Now I got to Abrochire and I realized no, it's not possible.
You can't combine the two.
You can't. So not back then you can't, but now you can.
Yeah.
You know, so so when I decided not to play anymore, I decided to now fulfill what I promised them. So I decided to go to school, but then you have to pay.
Ooh. Pay for your own tuition?
Yeah, tuition. So when I did that research and found out that the Army will cover that cost for me, I spoke with my wife and told him I want to join. But I also remember when I was a kid, because I was active, like running around and doing this. I remember my mom said, so
is that manifesting into?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow.
Because I never thought of joining the Army. But when I realized they can do that, I decided to take the advantage of joining. And also, when I stopped playing, I became inactive. You know? So I realized the Army is about running and physical work, and that's where
all for it.
Yeah. So that was the main reason why I joined. That was the main reason why I joined.
And I must say, we're all very proud of you.
Thank you.
Did the ethics in football help you in your military life, in terms of the discipline of it, in terms of the hard work of it?
When we talk about discipline, my dad was a disciplinarian.
Okay.
You know, he always put us in line when it comes to our moral, our values and stuff. And he also always on time. The military is always about time. They give you a time, they give you a hate, you have to be there.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't have any issue. And throughout my football career, you've never heard anything about
No
me
scandal.
when
Yeah.
I always try to be and do what the authorities, the coach says, and try to be on time, not to get into trouble. And if you have that discipline, it comes from my dad, though. May his soul rest in peace. He gave me everything. The foundation was good. So I didn't have any issue joining the army or in the army. No.
When you decided to join the army, and especially U.S. Army, one of the things my father or my mom would say, hey, woko.
Yeah, that's the
Iraq.
Yeah, that's the mindset of...
Did you ever go to Iraq or any of those wars?
No, I didn't. I didn't. We were scheduled to deploy to Bahrain, but something happened and I couldn't make it.
You couldn't make it. Yeah. Oh, okay. But did you enjoy army life?
Yes. Remember, it's the greatest army on earth.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If I may ask, which rank did you get to? Are you still in the army, by the way?
No, I've retired.
You've retired. Which rank did you get to?
Specialist.
Specialist.
Yes.
Wow. Specialist.
Yes.
Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Let's talk about the project you're engaging in now. The AA, foundation, for instance. The idea and why you decided to do this.
When I stepped away from football, I decided to concentrate solely on education and the army. And when I realized that my time of service is coming to an end, back then I asked myself, what can you do to help? Because then I remember, okay, now I can do something. I can impact people. I can help the young ones coming. I can educate them, mentor them. So I spoke with few friends, and then they said, yeah, it's doable. You can do it, and then you'll be the best person to do it because you've seen it before when it comes to playing in the local league. Now local league is kind of different from back then.
What it used to be,
yeah, but you've played it, you've gone through the system, so you will be the best person to help the up and coming ones. So it's all about coming back and then giving back. Remember, the society has done a lot for me. The Ghana football also have done tremendous job for me. So coming back to help develop it, I don't think there's a better way to say thank you.
So the AA Sports International is giving opportunity for a lot more athletes to go to school, art education too.
Yes.
Playing the sport. So not only male but female.
Yes, both.
Both.
Okay. There should be equality.
Equality. Yeah.
And I also want to create the awareness that, remember I told you I have to play football and leave school behind. Back then, yes, that's what we were doing. But now you can still go to school, even if you are in a premiership, you can still take some courses online. Yeah. And I wish the Ghana government can bring in, or the policymakers can bring in a policy that enforces every Ghanaian child to be in school if only they want to play or they want to engage in any sport.
But by law, education is compulsory.
Okay.
Basic education is compulsory, but is there other enforcement as well?
Yeah.
But you are talking about student athletes. Before you play in any sport, you should be in school.
In school.
Just like the American system.
Exactly.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. But what we would get time and do the foundation and the more. But what do you make of our local league now? Your club, Kotoko, plays fourth this season, even though they won the league last season.
Like I said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why, but I believe there may be a reason. So it's gone. Last season is gone. They just have to do the analysis and know where they fell short, and then try to improve on it the next season. And it's all born out to preparation. I don't know how prepared they were before they started the last
season.
league. Yeah. So it's gone. They should just look forward to the next season. Yeah.
Adu Amofah, thank you very much for joining us on the conversation. We are grateful to you.
Thank you for having me.
Adu Amofah has been my guest in the last 60 minutes. Thank you very much for joining us also at home. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back again next week. Stay tuned to ETV Ghana. Enjoy your Thursday evening. We'll be back again. Bye-bye.